Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. This time we're looking at something that's really kind of blown my mind. I mean, we're talking about haptics, that tech that lets us actually feel digital information.
They're pretty wild, right?
Totally wild. And what's even cooler is we've got this set of sources that shows just how much bigger this is than just, your phone buzzing or feeling that rumble in your game controller.
Yeah, we've got a company website. Haptic R&D Consulting looks like they're right at the forefront of this. And there's this announcement for something called the ISE Open Innovation Challenge happening in 2025.
Sure.
Plus, we even have what looks like a draft for a podcast episode. It's titled Textile Inserat, which is a little strange.
Textile Inserat. Yeah, that is a weird title. What does that even mean?
I think it's Romanian for inserted text.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a working title there.
Haha. Okay, well, whatever they end up calling it, it seems to be all about this Haptic R&D consulting company and what they're doing at this ISE's challenge. But honestly, what's really fascinating to me is how all these sources, as different as they seem, they all point back to this idea that real innovation isn't about some lone genius in a basement. It's about collaboration. It's about people working together. And that's kind of what we're going to explore today.
You got it.
Back now.
Because, I mean, even the coolest tech in the world, it's useless if it doesn't actually solve real problems.
Hell yeah.
Right? That's where this whole collaboration thing comes in.
Totally. Okay, so I guess before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's take a step back. What exactly are we talking about when we say haptic technology? The Haptic R&D Consulting website says it's technology that allows us to feel digital information, which, okay, that makes sense on a basic level, but...
It's kind of a mouthful, isn't it? But it really is about more than just feeling buzzes and vibrations. It's about taking that sense of touch, figuring out how it works on a deep level, and then using that knowledge to create these incredibly immersive experiences.
Yeah.
It's not just about visuals on a screen anymore.
It's just about like actually understanding the science of touch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then applying that science to things like, well, imagine a surgeon who's training for a really complex procedure. With haptics, they can actually feel the resistance of virtual tissue. They can practice these really delicate movements and even get feedback on their technique, all without having to, actually operate on a real person.
Whoa, okay. Yeah, that's a way clearer picture than just feeling digital information. That's incredible. And the website also mentioned that this tech is already in a bunch of stuff we use every day, like our smartphones, game controllers.
Oh, yeah. We're already interacting with haptics all the time without even realizing it.
It's true. I mean, I never really thought about it like that, but it makes sense when you think about it.
And the potential for where this tech can go, it's mind-blowing. I mean, we're talking about everything from advanced manufacturing and Industry 4.0 to healthcare VR and AR, even AI. It's really impacting a huge range of industries.
Okay, so speaking of Haptic R&D Consulting, let's talk about them specifically for a minute. Their mission statement is to create a synergy business bridge between small companies and research labs. Okay, first of all, that's a pretty bold statement.
It's a mouthful, that's for sure.
It is, but it's also kind of cool. So how do they actually put that into practice? What do they do?
Well, it seems like they offer a whole suite of services that are all about taking those cutting-edge research ideas and actually making them work for businesses. They do things like business audits, but with a focus on innovation, helping companies figure out where they can, shake things up. Then there's technology transfer, helping businesses get their hands on that new tech and actually figure out how to use it. And of course, guiding them through digital transformations, which is a whole other beast.
So it's about more than just handing a company a new gadget and saying, good luck.
Way more than that. They actually talk on the website about how important it is to spend time researching the customer and the industry, making sure the solutions they're offering actually address real-world challenges.
Yeah.
It's not just about having the shiniest new tech. It's about understanding how to apply it to make a real difference.
See, research is important.
Absolutely.
It's all about solving problems. And speaking of solving problems, that brings us to our next source, the ISE Open Innovation Challenge in 2025. It's happening in Barcelona from February 4th to 6th. And this event, it just screams collaboration. They literally call it a hub for innovation.
They do.
So what does that even mean? What is an Open Innovation Challenge?
Actually, a really cool concept.
Yeah.
Imagine a whole bunch of companies all in one place.
Yeah.
And they're all there because they have these specific problems they need solved. Then you add in a bunch of startups, tech companies, all with these innovative solutions just waiting to be applied. An Open Innovation Challenge. It brings those two groups together, it gets them talking, sharing ideas, and hopefully forming new partnerships.
Oh, wow. So it's like speed dating for innovation.
Kinda.
Yeah.
But the goal is to find those perfect matches. Those situations where a company's problem is met with a solution that's just perfect. It's a way to really fast-track the process of turning those cool ideas into something real, something that can actually make a difference.
And this particular challenge, it seems like they're focusing on some pretty hot topics: AI, the Internet of Things, all these smart technologies that everyone's talking about.
Yeah, it looks like they're really targeting a specific set of tech areas.
Mhm.
And they're inviting all these small and medium-sized enterprises, along with the big corporations, to come together and try to tackle these challenges head on. It's a great example of how collaboration can drive progress.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so before we get into the specifics of what Haptic R&D Consulting is doing at this event, let's take a look at this mysterious textile inserat document. I gotta be honest, I'm super curious about this one.
Yeah, it's definitely the wild card in our pile of sources here.
Right, so it seems like it might be a draft for a podcast episode,
Right.
but that title, inserted text, it just seems so random.
It does make you wonder what they're going for there. But if we look past the title, it seems like the content itself is all about Haptic R&D consulting their goals for the ISE challenge and basically what they're hoping to accomplish there.
Okay, so let's get into that. What did you glean from it? What's the gist?
Well, they definitely highlight a bunch of those services we talked about, like the business audit innovation and the technology transfer. They're really positioning themselves as the go-to experts for helping businesses navigate all this crazy tech stuff. And it makes sense. I mean, it's a lot to keep up with.
It really is, especially for smaller companies that might not have a whole team dedicated to just figuring out the latest tech trends. It's easy to feel overwhelmed.
Exactly. And it seems like Haptic R&D Consulting is trying to be that calming voice in the storm, helping businesses make sense of it all and find solutions that actually fit their needs.
Okay, so they're all about practical application, not just hype. But what specifically are they doing at this IS challenge? What are they hoping to get out of it?
Well, from what I gathered from the Textile Insight document, it seems like they have a few main goals.
Mm.
First, they want to build strong partnerships, connect with other companies and organizations that are working on similar things.
Makes sense. Networking is key.
Totally. And they also want to really dive deep into all these emerging technologies, see what's out there, get a feel for the latest and greatest.
So it's like professional development, but for cutting edge tech.
Uh-huh. Yeah, something like that.
Uh-huh.
And of course, they want to use this event to show off their expertise, get their name out there, and attract new clients.
Hmm.
It's all pretty standard stuff for any company attending a big industry event.
Yeah, I get it. But what's interesting to me is how they're approaching all of this. They're not just passively showing up. They're going in with a very clear strategy.
Oh, yeah, they definitely have a plan,
Hmm.
and it's a smart one. They're really thinking about how they can make the most of this opportunity, not just for themselves, but for the whole industry.
Okay, so let's dig into that strategy a bit. What are some of the key things they're focusing on? What are their priorities?
Well, one thing that really jumped out at me was their emphasis on smart technologies for the future, especially anything that's powered by AI.
AI is everywhere these days. It's like the magic word for innovation.
It kind of is. And it makes sense. I mean, AI has the potential to completely revolutionize so many different industries. And Haptic R&D Consulting, they're looking at how AI can be used for everything from optimizing industrial processes and supply chains to making data analysis more efficient and insightful.
So it's all about using AI to make businesses smarter, more efficient, and ultimately more successful.
Exactly. But they're not just focused on efficiency. They also talk a lot about sustainability, finding technologies that can help companies operate in a more environmentally friendly way.
Okay, that's cool. Sustainability is such a big deal these days. It's not just a buzzword anymore. It's something that consumers really care about. And businesses are starting to realize that being sustainable can actually be good for their bottom line, too.
Absolutely. It's a win-win.
Hmm.
And it's great to see that Haptic R&D Consulting is making it a priority.
And this idea of cross-industry collaboration, it keeps coming up again and again. It's like they're saying that the best solutions don't come from working in silos. They come from bringing together people with different perspectives and expertise.
They really are. And, it makes sense when you think about the biggest problems facing the world today: climate change, poverty, healthcare. None of these things can be solved by one company or one industry working alone. It requires a collective effort, a willingness to share knowledge and resources, and a commitment to finding solutions that work for everyone.
So what they're doing, it's about more than just business. It's about using innovation to make the world a better place.
I think so. And that's what makes this whole thing so exciting. It's not just about the tech itself. It's about the potential for that tech to make a real difference in people's lives.
I love that. Okay, so we've talked about Haptic R&D Consulting, their expertise, their goals for the IS challenge, and this idea of collaboration as the engine of innovation. But I think it's important to step back for a minute and ask, why should anyone care? How does all of this impact the average person who might not be a tech expert or a business leader?
That's a really important question. It's easy to get caught up in the technical details and forget about the bigger picture. But remember, at its core, haptics is about understanding human touch, something we can all relate to, right?
Yeah, we all have that sense of touch. It's one of the most fundamental ways we interact with the world.
Exactly. And as we've discussed, this technology is already making its way into our everyday devices, smartphones, game controllers, things like that. But it goes so much further than that.
Hmm.
Think about the potential for things like, oh, I don't know, medical training. Imagine if medical professionals could train for complex surgeries using haptic simulations. That could lead to safer procedures, better patient outcomes. It's a game changer.
Wow, yeah. That's definitely something to think about. And then there's the potential for haptics in things like manufacturing robotics, all these industries that are becoming increasingly automated.
Exactly. With haptics, workers could collaborate with robots more safely and efficiently. We could see a whole new generation of machines that are more intuitive, more responsive, and safer to operate.
Okay, so this is starting to feel a lot more tangible and relevant to our daily lives. It's not just about some abstract futuristic technology anymore. It's about real-world applications that could have a profound impact on how we live, how we work, how we interact with the world around us.
And the work that Haptic R&D Consulting is doing, it's a crucial part of making all of this a reality. They're bridging the gap between those groundbreaking research ideas and practical applications that can benefit everyone.
So they're taking those abstract concepts from the lab and turning them into something real, something that can actually improve our lives.
You've got it. And the IC Open Innovation Challenge, it seems like the perfect platform for them to connect with the partners and resources they need to achieve those ambitious goals. It's a place where ideas can collide, where partnerships can form, and where innovation can truly flourish.
It sounds like an amazing event. I'm already getting inspired just thinking about it.
Me too. It's exciting to see so much energy and enthusiasm around this technology. And I think we're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
I agree. Okay, so we've talked about Haptic R&D, consulting their expertise, their goals for the event, the power of collaboration, and the broader implications of this work for businesses of all sizes. Now, I'm curious to explore what this textual Instagram document has to say about the importance of collaboration for driving innovation. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's definitely a key theme throughout the document. They really emphasize how innovation thrives when people from different backgrounds, different industries, come together to solve challenges and create new opportunities. Events like the IS Challenge, they're specifically designed to foster those connections and accelerate the adoption of these transformative technologies.
It's like a melting pot of ideas and expertise, all focused on creating something new and exciting.
Exactly. And Haptic R&D Consulting seems to be embracing that collaborative spirit wholeheartedly. They're not just attending this event. They're actively participating in the innovation ecosystem, seeking out potential partners, and identifying synergies for joint innovation.
So it's not just about shaking hands and exchanging business cards. It's about rolling up your sleeves and getting involved in the process of creating something new, something better.
You got it. That's what
Yeah.
sets them apart. They're not just bringing people together, they're offering their expertise in aligning technological solutions with real business goals, ensuring that those solutions have a lasting impact.
They're not just creating something cool for the sake of being cool. They're creating something that works, that addresses real needs, and that ultimately makes a positive difference in the world.
That's a great way to put it. And that's what makes this whole topic so fascinating. It's not just about technology, it's about people and how we can use technology to build a better future together.
I love that. And speaking of building a better future, let's take a closer look at some of the specific benefits of collaboration that Haptic R&D Consulting highlights in the Textile Inserat document. What are some of the key takeaways for businesses looking to leverage these emerging technologies?
They talk about a lot of different benefits, but one of the biggest ones is access to knowledge and resources. For industry leaders, it's about getting their hands on the latest and greatest technology, staying ahead of the curve, and making sure they don't fall behind the competition. For startups and smaller companies, it's about finding the support they need to navigate the complex world of innovation, finding funding, forming strategic partnerships, and getting guidance on how to scale their technologies effectively.
So it's about leveling the playing field, making sure that everyone has the opportunity to innovate regardless of their size or resources.
Exactly. And for the broader market, it's about accelerating the adoption of those truly impactful technologies, the ones that have the potential to solve the world's biggest problems.
It's not just about individual companies succeeding, it's about creating a better future for everyone.
You've got it. And
Yep.
that's what's so inspiring about this whole thing. It's not just about profit. It's about purpose. It's about using innovation to make a real difference in the world.
Okay, so we've talked about the power of collaboration, how it fuels innovation, and the benefits for businesses of all shapes and sizes. But let's get even more specific.
Yeah.
What are some tangible examples of how companies can actually put this into practice? What can they do to leverage these emerging technologies and make sure they're not left behind in the dust?
Well, one of the simplest things companies can do is reach out to Haptic R&D Consulting and see how they can help. They offer a range of services from business audits to technology transfer to digital transformation guidance. They can help companies identify areas where technology can make a real difference, whether it's improving efficiency, boosting productivity, or helping them become more competitive.
So they're like a one-stop shop for all things innovation.
Pretty much. And they're not just focused on big companies. They work with businesses of all sizes, helping them find the right solutions for their specific needs and challenges.
So they're not just about the latest and greatest tech, they're about finding the right fit for each individual client.
You got it. And they're really good at what they do. They have a deep understanding of the technology landscape, and they're passionate about helping businesses succeed.
I can definitely see the value in that, especially in today's world where technology is evolving at such a rapid pace. It's hard to keep up. It's easy to feel overwhelmed.
It is. And that's where a company like Haptic R&D Consulting can really make a difference. They can be that trusted advisor, that guide that helps businesses navigate the complexities of innovation and find the solutions that will help them thrive.
Okay, so we've talked about the power of collaboration, the importance of finding the right solutions for each individual business, and the value of having a trusted advisor to help navigate the ever-changing world of technology. Now, before we move on to the final part of our deep dive, I want to take a closer look at that final thought presented in the textile inserat document, the one that really captures the essence of what we've been discussing.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. It really gets to the heart of why this whole topic is so important.
Exactly. So before we unpack it all, let's take a moment to reflect on that thought and consider its implications. It's about more than just technology. It's about the kind of future we want to create.
It's a good point to pause on. Let's take a quick break and come back to that. It's a powerful statement that deserves its own time and attention.
I agree. We'll be right back after a short break.
Okay, so that final thought from the textile inserat thing. Remember how we called the IS Open Innovation Challenge more than just an event?
Yeah, it said something about a movement.
A movement toward a more connected, sustainable, and innovative world. Pretty bold statement, right?
It is, but it kind of makes sense when you think about everything we've been talking about.
Right. It's not just about the technology itself. It's about the bigger picture. It's about how we can use this tech to create a better future for everyone.
And it all starts with collaboration, bringing people together from different backgrounds, different industries to share ideas and solve problems.
That's what the IS Challenge is all about. And it's what Haptic R&D Consulting is all about, too. They're not just developing cool tech. They're actively working to connect the dots between research, business, and society.
They're making sure that innovation actually benefits everyone, not just a select few.
Exactly. And that's why I think this final thought is so important. It's a reminder that we all have a role to play in shaping the future. It's not just up to the tech companies or the researchers. It's up to all of us to think about how we can use these tools to create a world that's more sustainable, more equitable, and more innovative.
I love that. So on a more practical level, what are some specific ways that businesses can get involved in this movement? How can they leverage these emerging technologies to make a real difference?
Well, the Textile Inserat document actually gives some really good examples. Like, imagine a company that's struggling to keep up with all the latest technological advancements. They can reach out to Haptic R&D Consulting and get a business audit with a focus on innovation. The audit would help them identify areas where technology can be used to improve their operations, whether it's streamlining processes, boosting productivity, or just becoming more competitive.
So it's about finding the right tech solutions for their specific needs.
It's not a one-size-fits-all approach. They really tailor their recommendations to each individual client. And then let's say a company wants to implement a specific technology like AI, but they don't know where to start. Haptic R&D Consulting can guide them through the entire process, from finding the right vendors to integrating the technology into their existing systems.
So they're kind of like tech consultants, but with a focus on innovation.
You could say that They're experts in helping businesses adopt and implement new technologies in a way that actually makes sense for their business. And then for companies that are developing their own innovative technologies, Haptic R&D Consulting can help them bring those technologies to market. They
Mhm.
can connect them with potential investors, help them secure funding, and provide guidance on things like marketing and commercialization.
So they're not just helping businesses use existing technologies, they're also helping to create new ones.
Exactly. They're playing a key role in fostering a vibrant and dynamic innovation ecosystem. And that's ultimately what's going to drive progress and create a better future for everyone.
I love how they're connecting all these different dots. It's not just about the technology itself, it's about the people, the businesses, the researchers all working together to create something truly special.
Yeah, it's a really holistic approach.
Yeah.
And I think it's the key to unlocking the full potential of these emerging technologies.
Agreed. Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about the ISE Open Innovation Challenge specifically. How does this event tie into everything we've been discussing?
Well, the ISE Challenge is a perfect example of this collaborative approach to innovation and action. It's a place where companies can come together, share their challenges, and find solutions from a diverse pool of innovators. It's all about breaking down those silos and fostering a spirit of cooperation.
And Haptic R&D Consulting is right in the middle of it all, connecting with potential partners, exploring new technologies, and showcasing their expertise.
They're really embracing the spirit of the event, and I think it's a great opportunity for them to make a real impact, both for their own business and for the industry as a whole.
I agree. It's exciting to see them taking such a proactive approach.
Okay, so as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a question to ponder. What if your business could tap into these emerging technologies? What problem would you solve? Think about the challenges you're facing, the opportunities you see, and the impact you want to make. The world of haptics and innovation is full of potential, and it's up to all of us to explore that potential and create a future we can be proud of.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And with that, we'll take a quick break and come back to talk about some key takeaways and final thoughts on this whole haptics thing.
All right, back to that final thought from Textile Insurat. Remember, the Eyes Open Innovation Challenge, it's not just an event,
Yeah, it's a
movement toward a more connected, sustainable, and innovative world. Really puts things into perspective, huh?
It does. It makes you think about the bigger picture beyond just the tech itself.
Right. It's about using these incredible tools to actually make a difference, to solve real problems, and create a better future. A future where technology works for everyone, not just a select few.
That's the idea. And that's what's so inspiring about this whole thing. It's not just about profits. It's about purpose. It's about using innovation to make a real positive impact on the world.
And I think that's where collaboration comes in, bringing together the brightest minds, the most creative thinkers, the people who are actually passionate about making a difference.
Absolutely. The IC Challenge is a perfect example of that. It's all about connecting those dots, building those bridges, and creating a space where innovation can flourish.
So it's not just about companies competing with each other. It's about working together to achieve something bigger than ourselves.
Yeah, and that's what's so exciting about this whole field. It's not just about developing cool gadgets. It's about using those gadgets to address some of the biggest challenges facing humanity.
Like climate change, poverty, healthcare, the list goes on and on.
And I think Haptic R&D Consulting is really at the forefront of this movement. They're not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk. They're actively working to connect research, business, and society in a way that benefits everyone.
So it's not just about making money, it's about making a difference.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to inspire the next generation of innovators, the people who are going to solve the problems of tomorrow.
And that brings me to a question I want to leave our listeners with today. What if your business could tap into these emerging technologies? What problem would you solve?
Think big, think bold, think about the impact you want to make on the world.
Because the future is full of possibilities, and it's up to all of us to shape that future, to create a world that's more sustainable, more equitable, and more innovative.
That's what this is all about.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the world of haptics and innovation. It's been an amazing journey, and I hope you've learned as much as I have.
It's definitely a field to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Things are moving fast, and I'm excited to see what the future holds.
Me too.
Okay.
So until next time, keep exploring, keep innovating, and keep reaching out. You never know what amazing things you might discover.
That's the spirit.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.